Hello students, welcome to Accounting Explained at AccountWise Academy. This is Latha Venkateshwaran. Today we are going to see chapter 4 of class 11 NCERT accountancy syllabus. The chapter name is Recording of Transactions 2. If you want to look into the important questions and MCQs, you can always look into our shorts of our channel Accounting Explained. Today we are going to see petty cash book. Topics to be covered for today's video are Introduction to Petty Cash Book, Advantages of maintaining Petty Cash Book, Posting from the Petty Cash Book, and we are going to solve a problem on Petty Cash Book. Introduction to Petty Cash Book. First, let us see the purpose of Petty Cash Book. Petty cash is used to handle small, routine payments that would be cumbersome to record in the main cash book. There are a lot of small expenses incurred by a business on a day-to-day basis, like buying tea for the staffs, or buying snacks for the staffs, or buying stationery items like files, paper for printing, or postage stamps, etc. These are all small expenses and these cannot be taken to the main cash book. If they are taken to the main cash book, then the main cash book will become very big and it will be very hard to or very difficult to handle that. For that, big businesses, they maintain petty cash book to maintain petty expenses as the name suggests. This system is particularly useful in large organizations with frequent minor expenses. This is mainly used by only large organizations where there are frequent minor expenses. See, for example, this tea, snacks, stationery items, everything are needed on a day-to-day basis, and when you compare a big business to these small expenses, it will be very negligible. That's why they maintain petty cash book. Next, petty cashier. A designated individual called the petty cashier is responsible for managing the petty cash fund. We know cashier is responsible for maintaining the cash book. Similarly, company or the business will appoint a person called petty cashier to handle petty expenses. Okay, Imprest System. The petty cashier operates under the Imprest System where they are given a fixed amount of money at the beginning of a period. So, the petty cashier will be given, for example, ₹1,000 to meet the petty expenses for 1 week. So, at the starting of the week, he will be given ₹1,000. This ₹1,000 is called the imprest amount or the petty cash fund. See here, petty cash fund. It can be called as petty cash fund or the imprest amount. Next is reimbursement. As the petty cashier spends the imprest amount, they are reimbursed by the main cashier. This process ensures that the petty cashier always has the full amount, that is imprest amount, available. See, every time you spend money, you write it down in a petty cash book, right? You note the date, what you bought and how much it cost. So when you incur expenses, what will happen? Your imprest amount will decrease. When your petty cash fund gets low, your boss gives you more money to bring it back to the original amount of, what is the original amount? ₹1,000. Okay, so that is what is explained here, reimbursement. Next, petty cash book. A separate petty cash book is maintained by the petty cashier to record these transactions. It typically has columns for specific types of payments. So it will have columns like for specific types of payments, like this. For stationery, one column will be there, and for refreshments there will be one column. Then for repairs there will be one column. Conveyance there will be one column. Like that, there will be different columns for each and every expense. And a miscellaneous column, if any of the expenses cannot be covered under these headings, then we can open a separate column called miscellaneous column where the miscellaneous expenses will go. And a remarks column also, like in the journal entry we write narration, no? Similarly, in the petty cash book, in the remarks column, we will write about the expenses details in a brief way. The total amount spent is recorded on the payment side. That is obvious. In a cash book, the record payment side will have the total amount spent, while reimbursements are recorded on the receipt side. Reimbursement means the receipt which we are getting. That is, when the petty cash book amount gets low, then we will be reimbursed with some amount, and that amount will be recorded in the receipt side. Okay. We are going to see now the advantages of maintaining petty cash book. First is time and effort. By delegating petty disbursements to the petty cashier, the chief cashier can focus on larger transactions, leading to increased efficiency and effectiveness. Suppose if the chief cashier has to handle all the transactions, including the transactions which are of routine in nature and the transactions which have high value, then it becomes very difficult for him to concentrate on his work. Now here, petty expenses will be handled by the petty cashier, and chief cashier will handle only the transactions which are of high value. So now it increases the efficiency and effectiveness of the chief cashier and the petty cashier. Effective control. The division of labor between the chief cashier and the petty cashier improves cash control. So now the work is divided between the chief cashier and the petty cashier. The chief cashier looks into the transactions of high value, whereas petty cashier takes care of the transactions which are of routine in nature. And now cash control happens. That in turn reduces the risk of fraud and embezzlement. Fraud and embezzlement will arise when there is no cash control. As we are having cash control now, the fraud and embezzlement will be reduced or will be zero because of effective control. Convenient recording. Petty cash books provide streamlined way to record small payments, saving time and effort compared to recording them in the main cash book. Main cash book is mainly like ledger. That's what we saw. No, on the left side it will be receipts, and on the right side it will be payments. So basically it is similar to the ledger, whereas petty cash book is very easy to maintain. It will be divided into columns where various expenses are recorded, like we saw now, no, conveyance, postage, staff welfare, etc. So it will be divided in the columnar way, and it is very easy to record, and it is recorded in a streamlined way so that it saves time and effort, and even the petty cashier will find it very easy to find out the balance of the petty cash book. Let us see the format of the petty cash book. Company name will be here in the top of the petty cash book. Then petty cash book for the period will be written here, whatever it is. And these two columns are dedicated to the receipts which we receive as Imprest fund or the petty cash fund. Okay. So it will have date and amount received. And all the other columns are payments. So this side will be on the left side, as usual, it will be debit. On the right side it will be credit. Payment side it will have date, particulars, amount paid, whatever is the amount paid for that particular expense, and particular expenses, whatever the expenses which we incur, no, that is categorized in the columnar way. See here, for example, it is stationery and printing in one column, cartage in another column, loading, postage, telephone, telegrams, it may go. Miscellaneous expenses, it may go like that. Okay. And at the end, total of the receipts will be written here, and total of the amount paid will be written here. Now we are going to see posting from the petty cash book. Okay, how we are going to post from the petty cash book to the main book. The petty cash book is balanced regularly to determine the remaining balance with the petty cashier. So it will be balanced regularly to find out the remaining balance with the petty cashier. This is the petty cash book of John and James Company. There are columns here: receipt, date, details, voucher number, total expenses. This is total expenses. And the expenses are categorized as office expenses, van expenses, cleaning expenses, sundry expenses. On to the right it is credit side, that is your expenses. Okay, so see here at the end of the month petty cash will be balanced regularly. So balance is what? You have been given 250 as a petty cash amount, and this is your expense amount 165, and 85 is your balance carried down. Next is balance carryover. The balance is carried forward to the next period, and the petty cashier is reimbursed for the actual amount spent. What is the balance here on March 31st? Balance carried down is 85 rupees. On April 1, that is the next month or the next year, it is brought forward, that is carried over to the next year, 85 rupees on the receipt side. See, okay, and the petty cashier is reimbursed for the actual amount spent. What is the actual amount spent here? Actual amount spent is 165 rupees. See here, amount spent is 165 rupees. On April 1, he has been reimbursed cash on the receipt side 165. After we have found out the balance for the petty cash book, we will open an account called petty cash account. A ledger account is maintained for petty cash with debits representing the initial imprest amount and the credits representing expenses. So now we have found out the balance of petty cash book. After that, we will open an account called petty cash account. This is similar to our cash account. On the left side, all the receipts will be entered. On the right side, all the payments will be entered. First, we will see the receipt side. So this is your debit, this is your credit. We are going to see only the debit side now. Adding money to the petty cash fund. When you add money to the petty cash fund, what will be the entry? You will debit the petty cash account. Petty cash account is a asset account. So when the asset increases, you have to debit it. So you are debiting petty cash. Next, credit the cash account. From where the petty cash is getting the money? It is getting from cash account. So your cash balance decreases. So you are crediting the cash. So in the ledger it will be to cash some 500 rupees. Refilling the petty cash fund. If you want to refill your petty cash fund, the same entry will be passed. Debit the petty cash account and credit the cash account. For example, you are going to refill your petty cash by 100 rupees, then to cash 100 rupees. Okay, this is the entry for the or posting for the debit side of the petty cash account. Next we are going to see expense account debits for the journal entry. What are all the accounts to be debited in the journal entry? Individual accounts are debited with the periodic totals from the corresponding petty cash book columns. What are the periodic totals? Office expenses periodic total is 15, van expense it is 55, cleaning expense it is 30, sundry expense it is 65. Using petty cash account as the reference. So we are going to write journal entry by debiting expenses as office expenses account debit. So expense should be debited, that you know. 15. Van expenses account debit 55. Cleaning expense account debit 30. Sundry expenses account debit 65. From where all these expenses are made? From the petty cash book. Petty cash is an asset. When the asset decreases, we have to credit it. So, to petty cash account. What is the amount total of the expenses? 165. So, we have to write 165 on the credit side of the journal entry. Okay. So, this is the entry for the expenses. We just saw the journal entry for the petty cash book of expenses. Now let us see how it will be transferred to the petty cash account. The petty cash account is credited with the total expenditure incurred during the period using sundries as a reference. Only the total expenditure will be transferred and it will be named as sundries. We know that credit side is the payment side. So on the credit side, end of the month it will be by sundries as per petty cash book rupees 165. We are taking the same example as we saw previously. Okay. And on the left side it will be receipts. How much is interest fund we got at the beginning of the month, that is on May 5th, 250 rupees. On seeing we find that our debit side balance is more. So we take it to that balance to both the sides, 250, 250. On deducting from 165 we get 85 as the balance carried down. Okay, that balance on June 1 will be balance brought down, to balance brought down 85 rupees, and on June 1 we will be reimbursed with the expenses which we met during the previous month. Now what was the expenses which we met within the previous month? Amount is 165. So that will be reimbursed on June 1, that is rupees 165. So your petty cash account will look like this. Okay, that is conversion from petty cash book to petty cash account. Let's solve a question on petty cash book. Mr. Mohit, the petty cashier of Messrs. Samira Traders, received 2000 on May 2017 from the head cashier. For the month, details of petty expenses are listed here under. So this 2000 rupees which is given here is your imprest amount or the petty cash fund. Okay. So the lists are like this: date, details and amount. Let's see the question now. May 2017 is the period, and on May 2nd auto fare of rupees 55, May 3rd courier services 40, then postal stamps 105, erasers, sharpeners or pencils or pads bought for 225, speed post charges 98, taxi fare it is 195, refreshments it is 85, auto fare 60, registered postal charges 42, telegram charges 34, cartage 25, computer stationery 165, bus fare 24, STD call charges 87, office sanitation including disinfectant 60, refreshment 45, photostating charges, that is photocopy charges or the Xerox charges, all the same. Okay, 47 rupees, courier services 40, unloading charges 40, and the last for the month is bus fare rupees 15. Let us analyze each of the expenses and see under or how many columns we have to open for all these expenses together. First, it is auto fare. For auto fare, we will open conveyance column. Courier services, we are going to open postage column. Okay, erasers, sharpeners, pencils or pads, for that we are going to open stationery column. Say C stands for conveyance, P stands for postage and S stands for stationery. Speed post charges will go under postage. Taxi fare will go under conveyance. Refreshments will go under miscellaneous column. Okay, see refreshments, there are no more refreshments here. So that we are taking it to miscellaneous expense. Auto fare will go under conveyance column. Registered postal charges will go under postage column. By this time you must be telling me telegram, before I tell, goes under postage. Telegram goes under a new column called telephone and telegram. Okay, so open telephone and telegram. Cartage goes under miscellaneous. Since there are no other cartage expenses, we are directly taking to miscellaneous. Computer stationery will go under stationery column. Bus fare will go under conveyance. STD call charges will go under telephone and telegram, TNT. Office sanitation including disinfectant miscellaneous, refreshment miscellaneous, photostating charges, courier charges miscellaneous, photostating charges is photocopy or Xerox charges miscellaneous, courier services to postage, unloading charges to miscellaneous, bus fare to conveyance. Let us see how to make the petty cash book now. This is the solution. So as per the format which we have seen, first we have to write the company name, Book of CMA of Traders. What we are opening? Petty cash book. So we have to open columns of amount received, date, particulars, voucher number, from which voucher number we have taken that particular expense, that we have to write. This we cannot fill it now because we are not writing from the voucher. In the actual business, we will be writing the voucher number. Amount paid, analysis of payments. So we saw some columns to be open. No? So those columns should be open. 5 columns we saw. For this problem, postage, telephone and telegram, conveyance, stationery and miscellaneous expenses. First, on here you write the month May 2017. On May 1, we received a cash Imprest amount of 2000 rupees. Write it here onto the extreme left. So this will be your debit and these are all your credit, or else this will be your receipt and analysis of payment will be your payment side when you compare this with your cash book. Okay, first is auto fare of rupees 55 on May 2nd. So on May 2nd, auto fare under the particulars column 55 rupees, and 55 rupees should go under conveyance column in the sub column. Next, courier services of 40. 3rd May, courier services under the amount paid 40 rupees, under the sub column postage you have to fill it up. Next, postal stamps on May 4th 105. Date column 4. Particulars postal stamps, amount is 105, under postage column fill 105. Next, erasers, sharpeners, pencils, pads 225. Date, erasers, sharpeners, pencils, pads under particulars column 225, it will go under stationery. Next is speed post charges of rupees 98. Speed post charges, fill the date column. Under the particulars, write speed post charges 95. It will go to 98. It will go under postage. Next, taxi fare of rupees 195. Fill the date column. Particulars taxi fare. Amount is 195. It will go under conveyance. Refreshments of rupees 85. Write the date. Refreshments under particular column 85. It will go under miscellaneous expenses. Next, auto fare of rupees 60. Auto fare of rupees 60 will go under conveyance column. Registered postal charge 42. Particulars registered postal charge, fill the date 42. It will go under postage. Then telegram of rupees 34 will go under telephone and telegram column 34 rupees. Next, cartage 25 rupees on 14th May. Fill the date 14th May. Particulars cartage. Amount is rupees 25. It will go under miscellaneous column. Next, computer stationery of rupees 165. Computer stationery, fill the date column of 165 will go under stationery. Next, bus fare. Bus fare is 24. Bus fare. Particulars, fill the date of 24 rupees. We all know under which column it goes, right? Correct. Conveyance column, right under the conveyance column. Next, STD call charges of rupees 87. STD call charges 87 rupees will come under telephone and telegram. Next, office sanitation including disinfectant rupees 60. Under particulars column, write office sanitation and disinfectant. Write the date 60 rupees. It will go under miscellaneous column. Next, refreshment of rupees 45. Date, refreshment 45. It will go under miscellaneous expenses column. Photostating charges or the Xerox charges 47. Under the particulars, write photostating charges Okay, 47 rupees. It will go under miscellaneous expenses. Courier charges of 40. Write the date, courier charges, and a particulars column 40. It will go under postage. Unloading charges of 40. Write the date, unloading charges of 40 will go under miscellaneous expenses. And the last expense for the month is bus fare, 15 rupees. 30th May, bus fare, 15 rupees will go under conveyance. Now, you total the amount received column, it is 2000 rupees. Amount paid column, you total it is 1487. Postage column, if you total it is 325. Telephone and telegram, it is 121. Conveyance, if you total it is 349. Stationery, if you total it is 390. And miscellaneous expenses, if you total it is 302. So all these total together should equal to 1487. Okay. Now 1487 is the total expenses incurred. What is the balance carried down? On 31st May, balance carried down is take the 2000 rupees total on both the sides, on amount received and amount paid, and if you deduct 2000 from 1487, on 31st May, balance carried down is 513. This is the balance we have. On 1st June, balance brought down is onto the left side. Amount received column, we have to take the balance brought. I'll rub everything so that it will be easier for you to understand. See, on 31st May, balance carried down is 513. This has to be brought down to the next month. No? On 1st June, balance brought down onto the amount received column is 513. Now we should maintain a balance of how much? 2000 rupees. So on the 1st of June you receive cash 1487. These two together will give 2000 rupees. That is your impressed cash. Now we have completed our petty cash book. This is our petty cash book balance. Now what we are going to do is we are going to pass some journal entries for the petty cash imprest fund we received on 1st May. Then for the expenses we incurred on 31st May we are going to pass entries, and again for the balance for the imprest fund to be 2000 we receive cash for the expenses which you have incurred, that to be carried forward to the next month. No, that entry we are going to pass. First on 1st May 2017 we are going to pass for the entry for the imprest amount received. Your petty cash is an asset, it is going to be increased, so debited. Petty cash account debit 2000 and cash account is your asset. From cash account we are going to pay petty cash account, so it's an asset decrease, so credited 2000 being cash paid to petty cashier. On 31st May, the expenses which we are incurred are 325 on postage, 125 on 21 on telephone and telegram, conveyance 349, stationery 390 and miscellaneous 302. Debit all these expenses. Postage account debit 325, telephone and telegram 121, conveyance account debit 349, stationery account debit 390, miscellaneous expenses account debit 320 to petty cash account 1487. Petty expenses posted to petty cash account. So we have transferred all those account to petty cash account. Now our expenses were, our petty cash imprest fund was 2000 rupees and our expenses was 1487. This is our expense. No, this has to be reimbursed by the end of the month. That is what we saw. No, so this is going to be reimbursed to us as 1487. Again, petty cash is an asset. It is going to be increased, so it has to be debited. Petty cash account debit 1487 to cash account is an asset. It is decreased, so credited 1487. Cash paid to petty cashier to maintain the imprest fund of rupees 2000 rupees. Now we are going to open a petty cash account. Petty cash account is like a ledger, is like any other ledger account. So left side debit, right side credit, date, particulars, JF amount, date, particulars, JF amount. First, for the petty cash amount received on 1st May. 1st May 2017 to cash 2000 rupees. This entry we have passed. Next on 31st May 2017 for all the expenses which we have incurred, that is equal to 1487. No, all these expenses. So instead of writing all the expenses separately, we are going to open buy sundries as per petty cash book 1487. Okay. Now on seeing your debit side total is more, so take the debit side total to the both the sides 2000 rupees. Okay. Now on deducting 2000 from 1487, you get a balance of buy balance carried on 31st May 513. On June 1, it is 2 balance brought on 513, and again to increase our Imprest cash fund to 2000, we are receiving cash. See this entry. Okay, this entry we are passing. June 1 to cash 1487. If you would like to inquire about the online classes which I take or to get more worksheets, you can contact us at acc.wiseacademy@gmail.com.